Hello friends, it is time for... So, we are going to do the kind of the same things that we have been doing last week in SEL, and we're just going to be doing a little bit different for this week. Okay, friends? So, I will say 2 words. You will say the words back to me. Show me a thumbs up if the words rhyme, and thumbs down if the words don't rhyme. Okay, friends, so remember, if the words rhyme, a thumbs up. So I need you friends to do this with me. If the word rhymes, a thumbs up. If the word does not rhyme, we're going to give it a thumbs down. Okay, friends, you got it? Okay, so here is the first word. Well, the first 2 words, should I say. Can we say cat? Cat. Can we say mat? Mat. Does cat and mat, do they rhyme? Cat and mat. Yes, they do rhyme. Because what is the last sound that we hear from cat and mat? What letter is that? That's right, the letter T. Can you say T? T. Can you make the sound of the letter T? T, 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 t. Good job, friends. Let me write down the letter T. We have the letter T right there. This is the lowercase t. I'm going to show you the uppercase T now. And now this is the uppercase T. Good job, friends. So cat and mat, they both have the letter T at the end that makes it rhyme. So friends, do you remember when 2 words rhyme, what do? We sing our song. So get your hands ready. Cat, mat, these 2 rhyme. Cat, mat, these 2 rhyme. Cat, mat, these 2 rhyme. They sound the same at the end. Whoo! Good job. Okay, now I'm gonna erase. Ready for the other one? Can you say thumb? Thumb. Can you say chip? Chip. Does thumb and chip, do they rhyme? Thumb and chip. No, right? They do not rhyme. They do not rhyme at the end. So we're going to give it a thumbs down because they do not rhyme. Thumbs down. Good job. Ready for the next one? Can you say neck? Neck. Can you say fan? Fan. Does neck and fan, do they rhyme at the end? No, right? Because neck is with the letter K, and fan is with the letter N. So they do not rhyme. Thumbs down. Ready for the next one? Can you say cheek? Cheek. Can you say shape? Shape. Does the word cheek and shape, do they rhyme? Do they rhyme the same at the end? No, right? Because cheek ends with the letter K, and shape ends with the letter P, because we hear that sound P, shape. So they do not rhyme. Thumbs down. Ready for the next one? Can you say love? Love. Can you say down? Down. Does the word love and down, do they rhyme? Love. No, right? What letter is that? V. Right, the letter V. And how about down? What letter is that? Letter N. So they do not rhyme. Thumbs down. Good job, friends. Well, that was it for our first section. Good job. Now, we're going to go on our second section. So, I will say a word. You will say that word back to me. And tell me the first sound you hear. So I want everybody to have good listening ears. So remember, you're going to tell me the sound that you hear. The first sound that you hear. And I'm going to tell you the word. The first word is cat. Can you say cat? Cat. What is the first letter that you hear in the word cat? Cat. What letter is that? Letter C. Good job. Remember, friends, the letter C and the letter K sound the same. So what sound does the letter C make? K, 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 k. That is the letter C, cat. So this is the first letter we hear, cat. K, 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 k. Good job, friends. Kiss your brain 2 times. Good job. Ready for the next one? Here's the other word. Can you say pig? Pig. Good job. So what is the first letter you hear? P, p, pig. What letter is that? P, p. That's right. Letter P. Pig. Here is the word pig. And this is the first letter that we hear. P, p, P. Good job. Okay, ready for the next one? Can you say mouse? Mouse. What is that letter? Right, letter M. Mouse. So that is the first letter we hear. Mouse. This is the letter right here. The letter M. Mouse. Good job. Ready for the next one? Can you say lion? Lion. Ugh. What letter is that? Ugh. The letter L. Good job, friends. Lion. So the letter L is the one that we hear first. L. Good job. Shine to everybody. Shine, 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 shine. Good. Now, I want you friends to listen carefully at the middle letter. I want you friends to listen at the letter. It's in the middle of the word and the sound. Okay, friends? So I want everybody to use your listening ears very well. Remember, the middle sound, the middle letter that we hear. So it's not the first letter anymore. It's the middle. Okay, the middle. Can you say cat? Can you say cat? Cat. Good job. So we're going to stand our arms like this. And we're going to go like this. Watch me. At. Your turn. At. What is the middle letter that we hear? What letter is that? A. That's right. We hear the letter A for at. Cat. Good job. So I'm going to write the letter cat. So we hear this letter right here. Letter A. Okay, friends? Good job. Here's the next word. Can you say sad? Sad. Everybody put your arms up like this. I want you friends to do this with me. Ready? Sad. Do it again. Sad. What is the middle letter that we hear? Sad. What letter is that? Yes, the letter A. Good job, friends. So we have sad. And this is the letter we hear. Letter A in the middle. Good job. Okay, we have one more. Ready? Everybody put your arms up like this. App. Your turn. App. Nap. What is the middle letter that we hear? What letter is that? Letter A. Good job for the word nap. Can you say nap? Nap. Good job. So, nap is N-A-P. App. This is the middle letter we hear. A. Good job, friends. Just like apple. Good job. Everybody give yourself some shine. Shine, 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 shine. Kiss your brain 2 times. And give yourself on the back. Good job, me. Good job, friends. Well, that was it for our Well, friends, that is it for our SEO. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you, friends, in my next video. Bye-bye.